So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of finals day here at Speedrod in Austria for round 3 of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season. And it's Junior Max final number 2. Grid is as follows: Mads Ries on pole, alongside him will be James Wharton. Mike van Voogd and Colin Kersani make it a Dutch row 2. Jesse Spinkowitz and Karl Marcus Zay row 3. Jan Pokos and Herbert Andreas row 4. Linus Hensen, Guilherme de Oliveira row 5. Zen Rudenberg, Corby Bowles, row 6. Leighton Fury and Robert De Haan, row 7. Cortado Moray, Christian Mansell, row 8. Balazs Valint, Jeff Machiels, row 9. Vigor Hjorva, Georgi Zuane, Philip Yannick, Sven Ladenoij, Rasmus Valsten, Wilgot Hedqvist, Astrid Amler, Sasha Kavadecha, Flip Pust, Benz Valint, Jules Castro and Chris Harnan round out the 30-strong grid. Another 11 minutes plus one additional lap awaits the conclusion of the Junior Max competition here for the penultimate round of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season here in Austria. To find out more about the Rotax Max Euro Trophy, head to rotaxmaxchallenge-eurotrophy.com. We're also on Facebook, so please feel free to like and share the Facebook page. We're also on Twitter, and also bringing you the action live and direct as it happens here via live stream throughout the duration of the 2018 season, as both Mads Ries and James Wharton will start to hold the field back in the 2x2 rolling start formation. It seems like all weekend long it's been the inside line that has been the best for those on the left-hand side of your screen. For those watching on the live streams at home, wherever you are in the world, thank you very much for tuning in as we're about to get the rest of the final action underway, and the lights go out and we go racing for the final time in Junior Max in Austria. And again, it looks like James Wharton is now in 5th place. So Van Voogd is going with Mads Ries. Spinkowitz, I think, might be up into 3rd place, or could that be Kersani? Not too sure at the moment, as we'll find out as we head towards the infield part of the track for the first time of asking. A lot of dust. Oh, and I think might have been any sort of incident there. Wasn't quite sure, but I saw a lot of dust being kicked off of the grass. It's very dry here in Austria, around about sort of 30 degrees ambient air temperature, as it is Van Voogd second behind Mads Ries. So Ries now really putting on a championship assault when we head to Wackersdorf in around just under 2 months' time. So Ries leads, Van Voogd in second, Spinkowitz, Pokos, Wharton rounds out the top 5. Linus Hensen has shot up all the way from 9th to 6th position. He started on the inside run as a little bit of grass touching there by Pokos, as Wharton goes up the inside of the number 320 for position. Top 3 starting to break away slightly from the rest of the pack, with a bit of a long concertina train behind the number 313 of James Wharton from Australia, showing good pace, as Corby Powles is also getting stuck in with the fighting action here in Junior Max Final 2. Mads Ries now extends his lead over Mike van Voogd to 4/10. Spinkowitz a little bit lonely at the moment in 3rd, but wait to see what James Wharton can do. Can he close up a 9/10 of a second gap over the next 9 minutes? That is very much feasible. But then you've got the likes of Kersani. Linus Hensen has been overtaken by the 347. Zen Rudenberg up into 8th. Karl Marcus Zay and Guilherme de Oliveira ran out the top 10 as the field now makes its way towards the latter part of the track here. We're now on lap number 2. Philip Pust, the 380, was a non-starter this time around. So Robert De Haan has also made up a place or 2. He started in 14th, he's actually now down in 16th, ahead of Vigor Hjorvard and Christian Mansell. That's 16th to 18th position. Ladenoij, Edqvist, Castro, Valint have also made up places. Chris Harnan is still all the way down in 28th position, so the Dutch driver having a bit of a fight on his hands this weekend in Austria, as multiple drivers getting their heads down and trying to concentrate on moving forward. But you can see the train of carts that has Corby Bowles from Belgium, which is 13th position, and at the front of that train is Linus Hensen, who has got Jan Pokos in the 3:20 for close company. So Mads Ries and Mike van Voort are getting away with it all, but Jerzy Spinkovits has got a very fast closing James Wharton in the 3:13, challenging him now for third position. 7.5 minutes on the clock remain, plus one additional lap in Junior Max final number 2 here in Austria. Leaders come across the start-finish line, as do third and fourth, and just look how close James Wharton is. He's swarming over the back bumper of Spinkovits as they go onto the far side of the track. Between the pair of them, it was just over 1/10.5, and they both have both right side wheels going onto the dirt a little bit there, just coming out of the exit of the chicane on the far side of the track. Karl Marcus gets past then Rudenberg for 8th position, as Wharton is still trying to use the momentum and the slipstream effect to his advantage. It's not quite working out for the Australian quite yet, as they come through the final complex of corners into the right-hander, then it's the left onto the start-finish line. 3/10 separate Mads Ries and Mike van Voort. Spinkovits and Wharton separated by around 0.2 of a second. You can just see that Spinkovits is getting a bit sideways coming out of certain corners, and Wharton is pretty much getting there or thereabouts in terms of the braking zones, as more dust gets kicked up at the far side of the track by the back part of the field. And Wharton goes a bit wide, and he runs too wide there, 2 wheels on the grass, which loses a bit of momentum in that particular occasion. And we've got one off, and that is the number 302 of Bens Verlint. So we had a DNS, a do not start in the form of Philip Buss. And now we've got Bens Verlint also retiring. So just keeping an eye on what's happening a little bit further down the order, and there are quite a few battles quickly coming to the fore here. And in the middle of that gaggle is Corby Pauls from Belgium, who's now up into 12th position. But the gap between the two leaders is still pretty much even Steven at the minute. Ries leads from Van Voort by 0.227 of a second, with Spinkovits another 1.7 seconds behind. And he's dropped James Wharton ever so slightly to around the tune of 0.3 of a second. Colin Kerzani a further second adrift from the Australian, with Linus Henson from Germany rounding out the top 6. So with 4 minutes and 36 seconds plus an additional lap to go, it is Mads Ries who leads from Mike van Voort, Jerzy Spinkovits, James Wharton, Colin Kerzani, Linus Henson, Jan Pokos, Zen Rudenberg, Karl Marcus, Guilherme de Oliveira, Leighton Furry, Corby Pauls, Herbert Andreas, Robert De Haan and Kotaro Morai rounding out the top 15. Those are the drivers that are currently in points-paying positions, with just over 4 minutes plus one additional lap remaining in the second final for the Junior Max category, before they return to action on the 28th to the 30th of September, when we head to Wackersdorf for the 2018 finale. Edqvist now hits the top 20, having got past Christian Mansell. So Sweet down in 20th position at the minute. Gap has slightly extended between Ries and Van Voort. It's now just over 0.3 of a second. Spinkovits a further 1.8 seconds adrift, and has just had over 0.2 of a second taken out of him by James Wharton. So it looks like that the Australian is mounting another offensive in the number 325. And we have more changes for position a little bit further down the order. Corby Pauls has got past Leighton Furry in the 339. But the South African is keeping in close proximity, and just ahead of the Belgian in the 322 is Rudenberg, who I think has just been overtaken by Karl Marcus for position. That's for 8th. Robert de Haan now up into 13th position. Edqvist now hits 19th, having got past Jeff McNeils from Belgium. And James Morton has made the move. He has got past Jerzy Spinkowitz for 3rd place. So another good points haul for the Australian here in the 3rd round of the championship. So less than 2.5 minutes to go, plus 1 lap in the Junior Max 2nd final. So Philip Pust was a non-starter. Ben Svelint has also DNF'd. And Robert de Haan is picking off one driver in front at a time. And he's just got past Guilherme de Oliveira for 12th place. And about 9/10 of a second up the road is the 3:39 from South Africa, Leighton Fourie. So he's about 9/10 away from the number 339 from South Africa. Corby Powles now hits the top 10. 3:22 now in 10th position. Around 8.7 seconds off of the leader. Klaverdecha, in the meantime, at the back part of the field, has got past Astrid Amlöf for 27th, as Van Vogt takes the lead from Mads Ries with about 90 seconds to go. He bided his time and he made it happen. This has been out of my line of sight there, as we have yellow flags as there's another kart off the track now. So I think that might be the 397 of Astrid Amlöf, who's now become the 3rd driver to not finish or not start the race as we head into the last 60 seconds. So Van Vogt now has nearly a 4/10 of a second advantage over Mads Ries, who won the first final. James Wharton rounds out the top 3. Spinkowitz 4th, Kerzani 5th. Linus Henson from Germany in 6th, ahead of Jan Pokosch. Karl Markus Zay, Zen Rudenberg, Corby Powles, who completes the top 10. Leighton Fourie in his Rotax Max Euro Trophy debut, accrediting himself pretty well in 11th place, ahead of Robert de Haan, Guilherme de Oliveira, Herbert Andreas, and Kotaro Murai. Rounding out the top 15, 12 seconds on the clock remain. And the gap now between Van Vogt and Ries has now extended to just over half a second. So that's a really good haul of points so far. Next time around, Mike Van Vogt will get the last lap board. There's a little bit further back. Spinkowitz is going to be having Colin Kerzani for company very, very shortly. The two were separated by just under 4.5 of a second last time around. So, last lap board shown to Mike Van Vogt from the Netherlands. Still around 5/10 of a second between him and final 1 winner, Mads Ries, as they head towards the infield section for the last time of asking here in Austria. There's a nice little move. Colin Kerzani goes up the inside of Jerzy Spinkowitz on the last lap, heading into the infield for the final time. So nice work by the Dutch driver. Bided and waited. So here we go. It's going to be Junior Max final number 2 win for Mike Van Vogt, who celebrates in style coming across the start-finish line. Over 7.5 of a second ahead of Mads Ries. James Wharton from Australia completes the top 3. Colin Kerzani was opportunistic and deadly in good fashion, taking 4th place from Jerzy Spinkowitz on the last lap, heading into the infield for the final time. Linus Henson from Germany takes a well-earned 6th place ahead of Jan Pokosch. Karl Markus Zay, Zen Rudenberg, Corby Powles completes the top 10 ahead of Robert de Haan, Guilherme de Oliveira, Herbert Andreas, Leighton Fourie and Kotaro Murai. Again hits the points for the 2nd race in succession. with Yannick, Edqvist, Hjorvard, Valint, Machiels, Castro, Mansell, Valsten, Zwain, Lardenoij, Hanen and Klaverdecha, your 27 drivers that have finished the race with Amluf and Valint in the 302, not completing the race with Philip Pust, a non-starter.